What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives here. Got the Kershaw Emerson collaboration CQC-5k. So these are Ernest Emerson designed, Kershaw built value folders that give you some of Emerson's features at a Kershaw price. So I've owned quite a few out of the lineup. They originally released 8 models, came out with another one, and now they're up to 10, I think, total. And this, they're numbered by their size. So the 8 was the biggest, the 1 being the smallest. So this is 5. Good mid-sized folder, definitely not a large knife. But I'll give you the specs and we'll get into this thing. This has a 3-inch blade, a 4-inch closed length, and then a 7-inch overall length. The weight of 3.78 ounces. So nothing on this knife is abnormally large or abnormally heavy. Let's move to the blade here. This is a clip point. Definitely a cool blade shape. It's got a mid hollow grind. The blade steel is 8CR 14 MOV. That kind of steel is kind of a lot of companies' go-to budget steel because you get a lot for your money with that. I mean, it's not a super steel by any mean, but it's decent. You got Ernest Knife Designs, or Emerson, sorry, that's his first name. Emerson Knife Design, and then his skull logo on the flats on this side. And then on this side, you got Kershaw and the model number, and these are Chinese produced. That's how they keep the price down a little bit. And I like the blade. This one's coated. It's got kind of a black oxide coating, so it looks cool. And CQC in these models is CQC whatever number K. That stands for close quarter combat. So these are designed to be tactical knives, tactical folders at a budget price. You got a nice swedge taken out here on top. Just a good looking blade, really is. I mean, and you got kind of just a simple edge here to do your work, and it's good at penetrating like it's supposed to be with its nice thin tip. This is a manual knife. This is not speed safe equipped, and it's opened by this ambidextrous thumb stud that you see on almost every Emerson, where it's a thumb disc, sorry. But it works just like a thumb stud. It reaches over the blade on either side, it screws in on top. It's got some kind of jimping, some texturing to it. Very easy to access, throw the blade out. And you can open this blade by the wave opening feature that is trademarked or copyrighted or patented, whatever, by Emerson. And this snags on the corner of your pants pocket and opens the knife up as you withdraw it. And everyone knows how those wave features work. But you can get one of these without spending, 200 plus on an Emerson knife. So I really like that. It's quick to deploy. I mean, they say it's the quickest deploying folding knife out of your pocket. And I believe that. I mean, maybe if you had an auto and you pressed it simultaneously, but I mean, you can get this open and ready to use extremely fast. And that's where the tactical nature really comes for these knives. Regardless though, this knife is crazy smooth. You can see it is riding on Teflon washers. You see those little white washers in there, but it is very smooth. And I mean, you can't really shake it closed, but for it not riding on any sort of ball bearing system or on nice phosphor bronze washers, this thing is very smooth. That brings us to lockup, which is a liner lock. These full stainless steel liners are not milled out, and they're black oxide coated just like the blade. The liner lock's pretty solid, no blade play. So, not bad liner lock, very easy to access. You have G10 handle scales here. These are olive drab on the 5K model. Decent traction. Give you some good grip when you're using the knife. They give you a generous finger choil here, and then your other 4 kind of fall right where they need to be. In the CQC lineup, the 1, 2, and 3 don't really offer a good 4-finger grip, and then everything above that does. The 4K is actually a little bit bigger. I actually have that one. I'll do a review on it soon. But this knife does feel comfortable in the hand. I wish it was just a little bit bigger, but that's why they made the 6 and the 7 and the 8. Those are your larger folders. That wave opening feature does have some jimping, and it performs as your thumb ramp. And just gives you a very good grip for some thrusting tasks. Because this has stainless steel liners and they're not milled out or inset into the handle, this thing is fairly thick in your pocket, but it feels very good in your hand. And that's always the trade-off. Something that feels better in your pocket is not going to feel as good in hand, and vice versa. Another thing to note here, that the pivot and all the hardware on this knife, even the thumb disc screw, are all normal Phillips and flathead screwdrivers. So you don't need a Torx bit. You just need a Leatherman or whatever screwdrivers you have to adjust your pocket clip or whatever. So that's kind of a user-friendly feature that I realize not everyone has Torx bit drivers and stuff like that. The pocket clip is a fairly simple one. It is tip up only because you need to access that wave feature, so you can't really have it tip down and pull it out and do anything with that. It does have the skull logo on there. It is reversible to either side, but it does not deep carry because you need to access the knife as you withdraw it from your pocket to snag on that wave opening feature to open the knife. So that did bother me when I first got these knives, that they carried so high. I mean, you're getting a full inch or so out of your pocket. But now I realize it's kind of a necessity with this knife. It's partially open construction. You got a backspacer here. I'm sure it's made out of glass-filled nylon or G10 maybe. A little lanyard hole that just kind of put there. I don't know what that's for. I mean, maybe some stripped out paracord, but it's a little hole. So, do I recommend this knife? Absolutely. I think it's a great knife. It's a mid-sized Emerson design knife, and honestly, this is a small, very small in comparison to a lot of his own company's knives and not Kershaw's. But I like the materials in this knife, I like how smooth it is, and I like the capabilities of this blade. As you can see, I did chip this. I dropped it on some cement a long time ago, so this does kind of have a blunt tip. But I do like this knife. I think it feels great in hand. It's not for everybody, no. I kind of a sucker for the OD green and black combination, but I think this is a good buy for, I think they're going for 28 bucks, maybe 30. I prefer the CQC-5k and the 6 and the 7 over this one. But I think the lineup as a whole is a good idea. Now, if you do have large hands or you wear gloves a lot for work or something, I wouldn't recommend this because you cannot get a solid grip if you had gloves on or very large hands. Granted, I'm a larger guy and I have fairly big hands, but I can get a good 4-finger grip on this knife. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more knife reviews, and make sure to like and subscribe.